For 120 years, Western archaeology declared a civilization of millions extinct. It built theories about empty cities swallowed by the jungle. It documented an apocalypse that never happened. In 2024, a doctoral student browsing environmental data online discovered Valeriana, 6,500 structures beneath the canopy of Campeche that no explorer had ever set foot in. Pyramids, dams, ball courts, a megalopolis invisible from highways traveled every day. 7 million Maya descendants live today in the same region where their ancestors supposedly vanished. The Maya collapse does not describe a historical event. It describes an observational error that lasted for more than a century. Luke Auld-Thomas, a researcher at Tulane University, was not looking for lost cities when he found Valeriana. He was processing public datasets that a Mexican forest monitoring organization had uploaded years earlier with no archaeological intent. When he digitally stripped away the vegetation using LiDAR technology, what appeared in an area official maps labeled as empty land was an urban density comparable to Teotihuacan at its peak. Ritual ball courts, complex hydraulic systems, agricultural terraces connected by road networks that no modern machete had ever touched. The finding was published by Cambridge University Press in December 2024 and reshapes the demographic understanding of the Maya Classic period, dated between AD 250 and 900. Earlier population estimates suggested between 1 and 2 million inhabitants in the Maya lowlands. New LiDAR scans from Guatemala, carried out by the Pacunam Foundation between 2016 and 2022, revealed more than 60,000 previously unknown structures in the Petén region alone. Updated projections place the population of the Terminal Classic between 7 and 11 million people. A civilization with the demographic scale of Ptolemaic Egypt occupied a territory that modern observers interpreted as untouched primeval jungle. The collapse paradigm was built on the absence of evidence visible from the ground. The temples of Tikal, Calakmul, and Copan rose out of the vegetation like funerary monuments to an extinct society. The resulting narrative combined three elements: droughts documented in paleoclimatic records, evidence of intensified warfare, and the progressive abandonment of ceremonial centers. These data points are verifiable. Their interpretation as civilizational extinction is not. Oxygen isotope studies of stalagmites from caves in Belize, published in Science in 2022, confirm episodes of severe drought between AD 800 and 1000. However, the same record shows that these droughts were not uniform. While inland cities like Tikal show evidence of halted monumental construction, coastal centers such as Chichen Itza experienced architectural expansion. The drought did not eliminate population, it redistributed it. Ancient DNA analyses of Maya burials, published in Nature Communications in 2023, show genetic continuity between classic period populations and contemporary Maya communities. There is no evidence of population replacement. There is no detectable demographic vacuum. What the archaeological record documents is the collapse of a specific political system, not of a civilization. The model of the Kuhul Aja, the divine lord who mediated between the supernatural and the agricultural, depended on his ability to guarantee harvests. Inscriptions on 9th century AD stelae record an intensification of royal auto-sacrifice rituals, ceremonial bloodletting performed by the rulers themselves. The frequency of these extreme rituals indicates systemic desperation. The theocratic contract was breaking. The population's response follows patterns documented in other institutional collapses: dispersion toward less controlled zones, abandonment of monumental infrastructure that required tributary labor, and reorganization into smaller, less vertical political units. Post-classic Maya communities in northern Yucatan operated through multiple councils, collegial systems of government with no centralized royal figure. They did not disappear. They changed political software. This pattern finds parallels in archaeological records elsewhere. On Peru's north coast, the site of Vichama, associated with the Caral Super civilization and dated to about 3,800 years before present, shows mural reliefs that document climate crisis and ritual response, representations of skeletal figures alongside symbols of agricultural renewal. The oldest civilization in the Americas did not vanish in the face of climate change. It transformed. Its cultural descendants populated the Peruvian coast for millennia afterward. The persistence of the term collapse in academic literature and popular science writing produces measurable effects. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania reported in 2021 that 83% of educational materials on the Maya used in U.S. schools employ language of extinction or disappearance. At the same time, more than 7 million speakers of Maya languages live in Guatemala, Mexico, Belize, and Honduras. 30 distinct Maya languages remain in active use. Communities such as the Lacandan of Chiapas maintain ritual practices with documented continuity from the classic period. Declaring extinct a civilization whose descendants are demographically equivalent to the population of Bulgaria is a phenomenon that requires its own explanation. LiDAR technology has scanned less than 5% of the Maya Mesoamerican biosphere, according to estimates from the Earth Archive Initiative. Every new dataset reveals previously invisible structures. In 2023, scans in southern Mexico identified networks of raised causeways connecting cities and separated by dozens of kilometers. Road infrastructure comparable to Roman roads, built without draft animals or a functional wheel. The jungle that 20th century observers interpreted as virgin nature turns out to be an anthropogenic landscape, thoroughly modified by human activity over millennia and reclaimed by vegetation after the abandonment of intensive post-classic agriculture. What looked like emptiness was accumulation. What looked like death was transformation. What looked like mystery was a methodological limitation of the observers. 7 million people today descend from a civilization that archaeology declared collapsed. They speak languages that the hieroglyphs of Tikal would have recognized. They cultivate milpas using techniques documented in 15th century codices. Beneath their feet lie cities they have never known, waiting to be revealed by technologies their ancestors never imagined. The Maya collapse accurately describes a single verifiable phenomenon: the inability of a scientific discipline to see what was always there.